Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 15 of He Said, She Said. I'm your host Sierra.
And I'm Eric.
And today we're going to be talking about conspiracies.
Conspiracies again.
Yep. We're going to try every 5 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the conspiracies that we are going to be talking about this episode are MKUltra and Bohemian Grove.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and just start because, I'm that person that doesn't believe in conspiracy theories. But these two conspiracies, there's factual information on these.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's interesting, the two topics. So for starters here, MKUltra, this was a top secret and illegal project conducted by the CIA between the years of 1953 and 1973. So the CIA was using illicit drugs such as LSD and other drugs to attempt mind control, information gathering, and other forms of psychological torture. The psychological torture was mainly used to try to perform the mind control.
Yep.
And details about this project really didn't become public until 1975, when there was a congressional investigation into all the illegal activities of the CIA.
Yeah, so hashtag Stranger Things.
Oh boy. Yeah, so, like I said, I really don't believe conspiracies, but...
That's not a conspiracy.
Yeah, no, like I said, there are plenty of facts about this. So, those are just a couple, quick details about MKUltra. But I'll let you go ahead and get into some of the conspiracies for MKUltra.
All right, so... Yeah, so like as Eric said, there are a lot of facts that there were actual experiments conducted by the CIA, and people are coming out and saying like, I was one of the test subjects, and
I think that's wild.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of brush them off. Even still, it's absolutely insane that the fact that the CIA has admitted that they did this, and the U.S. Army too, and it's like, people are still like, oh no, that person wasn't really there.
Yeah, because, so this was like during the Cold War, and it was like a Cold War era experiment.
Yep.
And it's like they did it on volunteers, but they also did it on like people that had no clue.
Yeah, so like one of the theories is like how they got the people that had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of runaways, like kids even, orphans. Kids that, either were born in an orphanage or their parents died or whatever the case. I mean, if you want to even get like deep into it, like their parents were killed off, yeah. You never know. And then, so yeah, like child abductions, planned out from the CIA.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one that we could totally do our own, another conspiracy episode on this child abduction, Johnny Gosh.
Is that the one that you had made me listen to?
Yes, because it's so mind-blowing. Like, he was a paper boy, and he was being stalked by a car and ended up being snatched. Well, then a couple of kids saw, like, the car and it sped off and all that. And, well, of course, it was, like, a black, nice car. Well, doesn't scream government, So... And then, like, random things would pop up. Like, a dollar bill showed up. It says, I am Johnny Gosh. I'm alive. And just stuff like that. Well, then he shows back up on his mom's doorstep a few years later for seconds. And he says, like, I just want to let you know I'm okay. They're watching me. I have to go back. So a lot of people think, like, he was sex trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wonder, what if he was part of a government conspiracy where he was like in the test for mind control and things like that? But so yeah, that's where a lot of, the theories are, why they were doing it, if they were completely willing suspects, and if you were, able to say, hey, I'm done, or like, was it like a prison? I mean...
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
So, one popular conspiracy is a likely death of Frank Olson. Frank was a scientist that worked for the CIA in 1953. During a CIA retreat, he drank a cocktail that was laced with LSD. This is like one of the most infamous ones.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you making me
Yeah.
listen to a podcast, and it was literally the MKUltra podcast. I'm like, this was their key thing.
Yeah. So he drank it. It was laced with LSD. He had a horrible trip. I mean, they definitely overdosed him.
Mm-hmm.
So days later, on November 28th, 1953, Frank Olson, quote, tumbled to his death from a window in his New York City hotel room. And it was chalked up to suicide.
Yeah.
But the way that, because I want to say he was like making phone calls to his family, and
yeah, from what I remember, it's like the family wasn't.
They knew he was kind of being.
Yeah, they were just like, there's no way. Like,
yeah.
They didn't believe it, and I think the family was actually the one that brought in a secondary person to do a secondary autopsy.
His child, like, eventually later on dug super deep into it and was like, my dad did not do this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they brought in a secondary autopsy, and it was found to be foul play. He did not jump. He was most likely pushed. So maybe he was going to leak information.
Yeah, I mean, it's more less likely that he was going to leak some sort of information about, MKUltra.
Yeah, because he was tired of doing it, and he was laced. I mean, and I want to say, like, immediately after he drank it, they told him, like, that had LSD in it. And so he knew he was drugged,
mm-hmm.
but it just, I don't know. But so, yeah, the family was awarded $750,000 and received personal apologies from the president, who was Gerald Ford at the time, and the director of the CIA.
Yeah, so that makes it seem fishy. Like, yeah, the secondary autopsy, obviously, but, like, the fact that you had the president and the director of the CIA personally apologize to the family.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, sketch. we did this.
Yeah, please don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So sketchy.
But, unfortunately, like, there's no, like, specific evidence that says, yeah, it was the CIA that conducted this hit on Frank Olson.
Yeah, not the hit, but yeah, it's just.
I mean, it was essentially a hit if it wasn't a suicide.
Yeah, yep, he was definitely a target. And then another theory is that some of the mass shootings that occur are connected by the people who were test subject of MKUltra.
So this is an interesting one. I mean, it would obviously have to only be older subjects since the experiment supposedly ended in 1973.
Supposedly, yes.
Yeah, I mean, but who knows? The CIA could still be doing these experiments. There's no telling.
Yeah. And I mean, like the Vegas shooting, how old was that guy?
That was an older gentleman.
Yeah.
I don't
remember his birthday. Yeah.
So we're going to take a brief pause here. So, looking it up real quick, the shooter was 64. That puts him birth at 1953 when they started this experiment. So he could have been one of the young boys, or, I mean, they went through 1973, so he could have even been in this experiment in his early teens.
Wild.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's absolutely bonkers. And then, wow. I mean, again, so just a disclaimer, I feel like we should have said this at the beginning. We are merely having fun with the conspiracies. Doesn't mean everything we say on here we like 100% believe.
Yeah,
it's just fun to talk about, and like, oh my gosh, that's so trippy. But doesn't mean like we believe it, and
right.
And obviously some of these are fact based, but the conspiracy side of it, we're just kind of having fun. So
yeah.
But that would be wild.
Oh, for sure.
And then another one that I like. There's another conspiracy is that MKUltra was a success, and the CIA is still using mind control on people today. So, I mean, what if it's like social media, like subliminal messages?
That could
like if they found out how to control people's minds while doing these experiments. I mean, that was a long span.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing tons of experiments on tons of people, and I mean. Yeah, you could, with subliminal messages, you could put whatever you wanted into someone's mind.
Yeah, I mean, and social media, nobody thinks second of it.
Yeah, social media, movies.
Yeah.
Like predictive programming.
So, I mean, if that was true, like if it ever came to light, it would be really interesting to know who was being controlled and for what purposes.
Yeah, I mean, we could think of a ton of purposes. I mean, the elite, still running the world, and, the underdogs staying the underdogs. And so it's like, yeah, I could totally see that being possible. And like movies, like I've always said, predictive programming. And I mean, just like look at Ready Player One. When did that come out? Like early 2000s?
No, it was like 12 maybe.
Okay, well still, it's like that seemed so far-fetched, and here we are.
Yeah,
we're in the VR.
Yep.
So it's like crazy stuff that, we see on movies, but honestly it could be just predictive programming, and maybe that's part of a successful mind control that they found. I mean, especially with media, if you shove it in our face far enough.
Yeah, the news.
Yeah, the news. That's
the masks, then.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, if you show it to us enough, then we start to believe it. And maybe that's what happened. They sat somebody in a room and just showed them fake things, fake news, fake, real life. And they really thought that's real life. And then they could control them however they wanted. So I can see it.
No, I definitely agree with you. It's plausible.
Yeah, definitely plausible.
Yeah.
Not too far out of question, but
right. So, you want to move on here to the next one?
Sure.
Do you have anything else to add for MKUltra?
Not really conspiracies behind it. I mean, we said the facts and
yeah. Okay, so the next conspiracy fact, however you want to put it, Bohemian Grove. So again, this is something that has some fact behind it. For starters, Bohemian Grove is an actual restricted 2,700 acre campground at 20601 Bohemian Avenue in Monte Rio, California. And like the Bohemian Grove Club, like the campground, everything, it was founded in 1872.
So super long time ago.
Yeah. So like from what I was reading, it's like it was founded in 1872. It didn't really become popular until 1880s.
But still, that's a really long time.
Yeah, it's been around for like 150 years.
Yeah, really long time.
Yep.
But it's like, what in the heck were they doing back in 1872?
Who knows?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if truly the five families that supposedly run the world, and like the Illuminati, because the Illuminati was supposed to have started like forever ago, like in like 1500 BC or something, like forever ago. Like, yeah. And honestly, it's a little ironic that the Industrial Revolution was like kind of right after that. Like it was on the heels of when this club was founded.
Yeah.
So just a little fun fact,
Yeah. So, looking into the personnel who attend this, so it's originally like an Elks Club for the rich, fraternity party in the woods.
Yeah. But I mean, like literally only men can be a part of it, even to this day. Like, only men are allowed to be in the club. Women can go. Like, if you say you were in it, I could go with you, but I couldn't go to certain... I could only access a certain amount, and I would have to leave before dark.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, and then they just recently started letting women be employees, because they do have employees. Like, it's a massive thing. Yeah. And they only let them be valet drivers or work in the kitchen.
Interesting.
Yep, and there's like actually like a line, not like a line drawn in the dirt or anything, but like there's a point that says no women past this point. So that's just so bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, especially like if it's still that way now.
It's still that way now.
Huh.
And like a lot of people protest like when the gathering happens, because I mean it's big. It's 2,700 acres of redwoods. Yeah. And you can't access it. I mean, it's privately owned, but...
Yeah, I forget how many sites I saw. I think it was like 156 or so that were like around a lake. And it's like, I was looking again, it's like the wait list to get in was like 33 years.
Yep.
So if you're not already a part of this, or like not already specifically invited,
yes,
it's very, very difficult to get in.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. So like, you can, again, say you were a member and I was a male. You could bring me as a guest and I could apply, but my wait list would be like 30-ish years.
Yeah.
But if I was your son, I think you're kind of like grandfathered in if you wanted to be a part of it. Like, I don't think you have the wait list for that. But yeah, like any Joe Schmo that's like not invited, that's what the wait list is for. So, but if you're invited, you're automatically in.
Right.
And if you're blood, you're automatically in.
Okay.
Especially if you're one of the Bushes. They got that RH blood type or whatever.
So getting back to, the members, it's pretty much like this camp for old guys, complete with an initiation ceremony, a totem animal, which apparently is an owl.
Yeah, not sinister at all.
Yeah, well, you can get into that later. And it's just like a place where powerful relax and enjoy others' company. Get to know some of the artists and entertainers that are there. It's like when I was looking at one of the schedules that was kind of leaked for this, it seemed like it was just like a bunch of lectures throughout the day. Like, it was so weird.
Well, that's what they claim. So
right. This is, like I said, this is the facts that I'm reading off here that what they claim this is.
Yeah. So they say it's like a safe haven for all of these bigwigs to come and let loose, because there is no recording, there is no photos allowed unless you're specifically told. So they're just saying, like, it's just a place where we get to go let loose and, like, connect with nature.
Yeah, that's what they say. They state their purpose is to escape uncivilized interests of common men. So, and when they gather here, it is said that they're told, weaving spiders come not here, which means business deals are to be left outside of the grove. Like, they're not supposed to be talking business talk.
So I found that funny because, like, freaking even you, like, you're not like a there bigwig businessman, but like you can't even stop talking about it. So when that's their whole life and that's all they know, how are they not talking about it? I think that's bullcrap. I think they're definitely talking about it, and I think they're planning.
They very well might be.
Just like the Illuminati, like they're planning, they're manifesting, if you will, how the next few years are gonna go.
I mean, maybe, but so. It is said that it was one exception, and this was back in 1942 when the planning of the Manhattan Project actually took side inside of the Grove. Planning of the Manhattan Project actually took place inside of the Grove, which eventually led to the creation of the atom bomb.
See, I just I can't get behind that, like that they don't talk about stuff.
So, I mean, a spokesperson for the Grove came out and stated that it's just people who gather here and share a passion for the outdoors and music and theater, but it's so secretive that there's not much that's definitively known about the Grove, other than what infiltrators have been able to discover themselves. Because something, this secret, this lucrative, you're gonna have people that are like,
it's like Area 51.
Oh, I gotta get it. Exactly.
Yeah. So like that one guy.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and just roll into that.
Yeah, so one guy, apparently, from what I read, he literally just walked in. And probably because he's a man, he could just walk in. But his name was Alex Jones. He's from Texas. But he snuck in, and he did get some video. Yeah. And if you watch his video, I mean, some of it is factual. Some of it's definitely exaggerated. I don't know if he is the one who's exaggerated, or if, like, over time people kind of edited in their own stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was weird stuff, and especially like the burning ceremony. What is that called? So
they called it cremation of care.
Yeah, and they like burned the owl.
No, they burned a coffin.
Oh, that was even worse.
Yeah, so they burned a coffin, and it had the label care on it, and they burned it in front of this 40-foot owl, and they were all wearing costumes.
See, that's so freaking weird.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I think that's super weird. It's like, so they say that they've got these initiation ceremonies. I mean, was this an initiation ceremony, or is this some sort of like super weird ritual?
See, that's what a lot of people think. It's like a super weird ritual that they're manifesting for the Illuminati. Like, they're sacrificing something, you know? Maybe not like a person or...
Yeah, it would be interesting if there's anything inside of that box.
Oh, I'm sure there's stuff in it, whether it's a person or just little, you know, figurines or whatever could be in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's something in it.
So would that almost be on the lines of like a satanic ritual, or is that just... Okay.
Yeah, people definitely think that this is very satanic and cultish for sure.
Huh.
Like, they may not necessarily be like, you know, worshiping Satan or anything like that, but they definitely think it's like a cult, and they're doing just like, that's just not normal. You're telling me that you're just going to a retreat just to like hang out with your boys and, you know, not have social media coming at you and, you know, paparazzi, but then you do weird shit like that. Like, I mean, that does not help your case.
The retreat with the boys doesn't sound too bad, but I don't know if we would burn a coffin in front of a 40-foot owl. We would
dressed
probably,
up.
Yeah, dressed up. That would be a little much for us.
Dave, can you imagine if I like showed up to one of your boy retreats and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get divorced. Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that just seems a little too fishy for me.
Well, when I get invited in 33 years, I'll let you know.
That'd be great. You should apply now, because by then you'll be 63, so.
Oh, that's awful.
But yeah, so just like, here's like a quick list of who's been invited and who is a part of it.
Okay.
So pretty much every Republican president ever since 1923.
Really?
Yeah.
Why just Republican?
No. So, and some Democrats, but like every single one since 1923. Many cabinet officials, CEOs of large companies, military contractors, oil companies.
I got a chance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. See, you could go. Oil companies, banks, the Federal Reserve. Shocker, shocker, shocker.
Yeah, so, and you hear all these big names and you're like...
And national media. Like, that controls everything. Oil company.
Uh-huh.
The freaking banks, Federal Reserve.
Yeah, it's
don't
like,
even get me started.
You hear all the big names, and there's no way that business is left at the door.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is such bullcrap. There's no way. And especially like that's everything. That's your whole world right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oil companies, military contractors, Federal Reserve, banks, all of it. 100%. No doubt in my mind that they are not running the world in this.
So you think this is essentially the Illuminati in its own? It's like...
I think it's like a smaller branch of the Illuminati. Like, they're still under the Illuminati.
Uh-huh.
But I think they're like the cousins, you know?
Cousins?
I don't know. Like, the little annoying sibling that like does all the dirty work.
Yeah.
But I still think they get some stuff done.
Do you think that they could have came up with COVID at this Grove?
Boy, you're gonna make me lose some friends. Yes, I do.
I mean, we're talking conspiracies, so
yeah.
Let's hear them.
I definitely think that plans like that, you know, back to the whole mind control thing,
mm-hmm.
predictive programming, and, you know, if you shove it in your face, and fear mongering. I mean, people the best way to control people is fear.
Yeah.
And they probably realize that with the MKUltra, scare them, and they'll comply.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what they did with COVID, and they complied. A lot of people complied.
Yeah, no, that is right.
Yep. And then back to the whole predictive programming, back on a Snapchat filter. Like in 2017, they had the filters that put a mask over your face.
Really?
Yes.
I don't remember any of that.
It had like dog ears like on your head, and then it had a mask. Like a full mask, but then it had like a dog nose on your nose. But it had a mask like around your ears and everything.
Huh.
So weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
But like back in 2017, we just, whatever. It's not, you know, it's just a new Snapchat filter.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I bet they do talk about that stuff. Like, all right, so here's how we do it slowly. And they have 2 weeks. They're there for 2 freaking weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks with some of the top minds of the world.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. I mean, I'm not going to say that it couldn't happen, but I'm not going to say that it did.
Yeah. But yeah, I also find it a little ironic that they do it in summer.
Yeah, so
it's like a midsummer vibe, and they do like midsummer. It's like, that's a term, you know.
Oh, okay.
For summer.
Yeah.
And So
Actually, from what I read, it's actually done in mid-July, so coming up here.
yeah. But so it's like a midsummer ritual,
Mm-hmm.
which, I mean, you've heard of winter solstice, right? Like people,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like midsummer. People.
They have a winter solstice and a summer solstice.
Yes, but there's also midsummer.
Okay.
So it's just like the things that they're doing, and they do it specifically on that week. Definitely could be rituals for the Illuminati and like a manifest.
Yeah.
Like, remember when, everyone listened to our podcast a couple weeks ago that I made Eric manifest with me?
Yeah.
And, I mean, if they know that that's true and that you can manifest, you can, astroplane, all this stuff, of course they're going to manifest at the perfect time for 2 weeks with everyone there, and they're going to do some freaky shit. I mean, I don't get into that stuff too far, but yeah. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pull up some pictures of the Bohemian Grove.
Okay.
So this one looks super creepy. So it's a man standing in the woods by an Egyptian statue in a mask in like all gray clothing. That looks like a devil mask.
Oh, I did see that. Let me get a closer look. Let me hold your new phone.
Yeah.
Does he have his tongue out?
No, I think that's the mask.
Ugh.
Yeah. And so doesn't it look like it has devil horns? And like, why is there an Egyptian statue?
It's a Richard Nixon mask.
That's weird.
Yeah, I just zoomed in, and it's a Nixon mask.
Okay, but like, so why is there an Egyptian statue? What the heck's that for?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like there's a lot of filigree around this Egyptian statue. But yeah, it's definitely a weird picture.
Yeah, super weird. And then this one's super creepy. This one looks like it's labeled Utopia: Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, and they're by the giant owl statue, which I'm pretty sure you've never seen the movie. It's called The Wicker Man.
Mm-mm.
It's got Nicolas Cage in it. It is so disturbing. It's like Midsommar, the movie. Disturbing.
That was an awful movie.
It was awful, yes, but yeah, The Wicker Man, so creepy. But that's what this reminds me of.
Huh.
So they're standing by the giant owl statue.
Okay.
And they're burning. And honestly, it kind of looks like someone's like running away who's like also on fire. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But yeah, they literally look like they're like running away on fire. Like, you see that?
Yeah.
That's so weird. But then like, look, this guy, he looks like he's like got a Pope hat on. What is that? Because I know the Pope doesn't go.
Oh yeah, I see it.
But like, what's that about? And they're all just in weird costumes.
Yeah, it could be the leader. I mean, like I said, obviously, like, weird stuff definitely takes place. It would be great to get a little bit more insight. So I'm looking at a picture right now, and it's just like, I don't want to say amphitheater, but like there's a whole bunch of tables and chairs, in a
looks very cultish.
Half circle organized. And I assume this is where they go for, all their,
meetings.
Speakers, and meetings. Because like I said, from what was leaked, the schedule, it's a very, scheduled 2 weeks,
Like
Saturday. Like, okay, so the schedule that I have, Saturday, July 12th, it seems like there's something at 9:15 p.m. every night. So Owl Shrine, Cremation of Care.
That's so weird.
July 14th, Campfire Circle, Sly Fox. 16th, 9:15 p.m., Campfire Circle with Sam Cooke. He's one of the founders of soul music. But yeah, it seems like there's something every night at 9:15, and then there's some other things throughout the day.
And that's another thing. Like, if you look up like things about the camp, they're all called weird things.
Yeah.
Like, all the names are so bizarre.
I have noticed that.
Like, why can't it just, I mean, it's in the Redwoods. Why can't it just be, like, something normal? Like, Redwoods.
Well, and you would think that, like, if it's people coming to relax and, get in tune with nature, that it would be more like that. Instead, it's
like Foxtrot Drive or something. I don't know.
Yeah, instead of it, it's kind of a weird vibe and everything.
Yeah, everything just seems so sinister.
Yeah. Well, it would definitely be interesting.
I wish I could go.
Yeah.
Oh, what I would give. I don't know. So if it came down to it, and I had to pick between going to Area 51 or Bohemian Grove, I don't know. I don't know what I would pick.
Well, maybe we'll get to go to Area 51.
But like inside.
I know. but maybe we'll at least get to see it coming up here in August.
Honestly, I think I'd pick Bohemian Grove because I feel like there's a lot more information that gets discussed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Area 51 gets brought up, but at Area 51, I'm sure Bohemian Grove doesn't get brought up.
No, you're probably right.
So I would definitely pick Bohemian Grove. And it's just so, like, it's just something about secrets, you know? People want to know, why is this so secretive?
Yeah.
Why can't we know?
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the conspiracy theories. I know Sierra could go on forever with these.
Especially, like, for someone that believes in them with me. Like,
Yeah.
Eric, you're good to talk about, but, like, you're very fact-based and, like, you don't get hype with me. So, like, I need someone who, like, gets hype and, like, believes it and, like, feeds off my conspiracy theory energy.
Okay, well,
I could go for days.
You know what? If you're somebody that can get hype on some conspiracies, you know, you should probably reach out to us. We might be able to phone you in, and, you know, you and Sierra can just bash me on my facts. So, yeah, you know, reach out to us on our Instagram page at ACS Entertainment LLC, or even our Facebook page. You know, shoot us a message, and we will definitely get back to you. Thanks again for joining us. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of He Said, She Said.